Right, we should be live. Hello, everyone.
Hello, good afternoon, guys.
Dave with the comeback. How's it going, Dave?
Good, good. It's nice to be back in the saddle. I've missed 2 weeks. I, so yeah, it's nice to be back active and on chat with everyone.
That's the thing, because it's 2 weeks. It's like what 4 weeks in this or something. Such as the pace of the game. So it feels like an age since you've been on here. Actually,
It feels like absolutely ages. There was basically last week I really wanted to come on because there's so much to talk about, but it was good to have a couple of weeks off, and then I realised I can't do this Sunday either, so it would have been basically a month. So it's good to be back. Thanks to everyone saying hello in the chat to Makoko and Scala. Nice to see you.
hello, everyone. I can't see the chat 'cause I've got too many windows open. So direct all your chat to Dave, basically, and hopefully I can pick it up.
There's just a lot of general fear about what's about to come.
Oh
It's not all
yes.
bad, right? It's not all bad.
Don't lie to them, Dave. Just tell them straight. No one wants it sugar coated.
There's some good. There's a few good bits. Fixtures.
How did you feel when you simmed this week just gone, by the way? Guys, we're going to smash through this week because there's so much to get through. I'm going to spend literally 2 minutes. We're not going to waste too much time on a review, but I just want to hear how Dave actually thought about this week when he simmed it on his own.
I mean, it was great. It's so good because the main one, obviously, the Man United Leeds game was really the big one, and I think the fact that Van Nistelrooy got injured and Viduka got sent off was pretty exciting because I've been hoping Van Nistelrooy would get injured all season, so that was just nice to see. And then obviously I knew Viduka would be a popular captain pick. So although there was a lot of goals this game, there wasn't too much drama, but it was just that one game had so much drama in it that yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, there was a lot of I don't know, you could call it trolling behind the scenes. I mean, I bought Van Nistelrooy in for Henri because Henri was basically had a woeful game. He goes and scores, of course, to troll us. Even though Van Nistelrooy outscored him, he then obviously gets injured. And then the Rebrov thing was brilliant as well.
Yeah, that was
Not playing, but then called on and then gets injured again with. I think it's a different injury as well that he's got, which is just ridiculous luck.
Yeah, I've got to say though, I do enjoy obviously seeing all the crazy reactions, but I was quite pleased that Van Nistelrooy got 9 before he went off injured, and Viduka obviously redeemed himself in the match this morning. So
Yeah, I mean the high and lows of that is just incredible within 1 week, and I do actually really like that. I wish they did that in real football actually, that it was 2 weeks. So if you do get a player sent off in a double, you've got a chance for him to redeem himself before he swans off into the sunset. I do like that.
yeah, I like it. I like it.
Right, let's smash through these games, guys. Then Aston Villa Blackburn. So I'm not going to spend too much time here. You can see from the shot stats here, it was not a classic. I think the tweets were mostly that way. And the actual thing here, which again was mentioned on the tweets, was that Lee Hendry got injured in the 80th minute after they did 3 subs. So the goal actually came in the 85th minute. So Villa went down to 10 men and then conceded the goal. So it's probably a reasonable chance that would have ended 0-0 if that wasn't the case. Not too much more to say on that. We'll move on. Bolton and Liverpool. Again, not a classic by any means here. Quite a lot of shots on target from both teams. Liverpool probably a little bit unlucky. Didn't have as much of the play, but probably should have won that one, to be fair. And Colin Cooper's a beast. He keeps churning out 8s and 9s all over the place.
It's been like that.
He's really, really doing well. Going under the radar. And I think Danny Murphy scored quite a few games in a row now. He's not just relying on penalties. He's scoring some other goals as well. So although he's a rotation risk, potentially an option. Everton-Leicester. As we can see here, Everton largely battered Leicester, but obviously the red card is going to have played a part here in the 35th minute. Bit of a strange setup for Leicester with Mackenoff up top. Didn't really expect that one, but obviously Gaza finally back from his pigs in blanket break, and it's not affected him at all, has it? Straight back on it. Steve Simonson, shout out to him. I keep saying it every week. Shocking. He just keeps pulling out these 3s and 4s here. Leicester had 2 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals. He's played a 4. He goes from a 9 to a 4 every other week. It's incredible. I swear if they actually had a good keeper, Everton, they'd probably be as good as Ipswich defensively.
He could be dropped now for Gerrard, do you think?
Yeah, they rotate quite a lot, haven't they, all season? So you never know. I mean, Simonson seems to have got the nod, but it's just been dreadful. There's quite a lot of dreadful keepers we've had in this league, and no one seems to want to do anything about it. Ipswich and Derby. Again here, Derby were pretty woeful. 2 shots, both off target. Didn't trouble Ipswich at all. Ipswich at home, obviously we know how good they can be, even though they had both wing backs out. Didn't seem to make a difference to them. And Jermaine Wright with an absolute haul, really. Man of the match assist, clean sheet at right wing back where Tarico's normally is. So Tweeko could have got it, maybe, I guess.
Maybe. Wishful thinking.
Yeah, exactly. You never know, do you? That's the thing. Could have just as easily got a red card, no my luck. Man U Leeds. Leeds didn't offer too much. This was probably expected a little bit, but I think the red card kind of killed the game here. Man United 7 shots on target, only 1 goal. Probably should have scored another or so, but Martin's been... He sort of goes up and down, Martin. He can be terrible and then he can be good the next week, so it seemed like he had a reasonable game this one. Van Nistelrooy, obviously, in a home game, even if he hadn't got the goal, was probably going to be getting an 8 or a 9. He nearly always does, doesn't he? So, pretty reliable. I just think after the red card, Man United probably chilled out a little bit.
Just to kind of say quickly as well, Luke, Veron got awarded an assist in this game, controversially, because the commentary said that basically Van Nistelrooy had his header saved, and then he followed in the rebound. I think, is that right? And, but the game awarded the assist to Veron, so I don't know what that's about, but it meant that Veron got an 8-pointer, which is the first time he's returned in weeks.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone actually owned him, then we'd probably be up in uproar, but we'll let it go, I think.
Andy Martin's got him captain.
Has he really?
Yeah.
It says here Martin did well to get his fingertips to the ball, so maybe fingertips don't count in CM.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's true.
Who knows? Southampton, Fulham. Southampton, I mean, they won the game, probably could have done it more, but this is Fulham, right? Especially when they're away, completely erratic. Even though Southampton are dreadful, it's a fairly good matchup for them. Obviously, the red card had an effect here as well because it was 1-1. We had the 80th minute and then they scored in the 88th. So, you know, maybe could have been a 1-1, but it's just Fulham all over. Then they go from Jekyll and Hyde pretty much every week. Alan Goma with the goal. He usually notches about 3 a season. I think I found on average. He's on 2. So if he gets that 1 more from now to the end of the season, he's pretty much hit bang on par.
Yeah.
Not too much else to say there. This was a manic game. Obviously, 7th minute, Sunderland sent off. Swartz sent off for Sunderland, sorry. As you can see from the stats here, Sunderland didn't offer anything and Tottenham laid siege to their goal. But yeah, I mean, the red card's almost certainly going to have helped that. Simon Davies is playing very, very well now. He's now established himself. We were waiting all this time, weren't we? The whole first half of the season was when's Davies going to come in to help Selakovic. Davies has come in to help himself, and Selakovic continues to do absolutely sod all.
He looks a good pick, Simon Davies.
He really does. Is he 6? I think he's 6, isn't he? I think he's 6.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, him and Poyet, both in those centre midfield roles, have been doing very, very well. Obviously, Poyet came back and got injured straight away because I think he was orange for this game, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. I'm wondering if anyone actually owns him. I see Scala's saying Davis. He's 6.5, Simon Davis.
6.5, okay.
Bang on pricing. Well done to whoever did that.
Nice work. And Stefan Everson was obviously the leak that he was going to play up front. He's been playing well all season. He's given the nod up front and he gets a 9 and an assist. So continuing to do pretty well in the, I was going to say absence of Rebrov, but the cameo of Rebrov. He managed to get a 7 here with 3 passes and only 1 complete. He made one pass and it was a key one. So that 1 pass was his basically sole contribution to this game. Good effort. This game here, again, hardly a classic. Middlesbrough at home, pretty solid. Charlton are pretty bad away from home. This was about as nailed on as you could get for a clean sheet, really, this week. And so it proved. Ekiog again with a 9, absolute tank. Rickard, just unbelievable sim. I mean, he's clearly a Rickard sim over a Boxic sim, this one, isn't it? I think Andy Martin's been saying that for a while, and I think he's right. Rickard's
although Boxic, you just feel like as soon as you buy Rickard and sell Boxic, that Boxic will start. He's still got goals in him, basically.
Probably, yeah. I mean, he's still a great player, isn't he? It's just going to happen at any moment. That's the thing. Dean Gordon, obviously, with the assist as well. People going off Middlesbrough assets because of obviously the Ekiog selling, the little decline in form. And
Gordon, look at Ekiog, 18 headers, 16
I know, it's incredible. I was looking at that earlier. Absolute tank. And then, Dean Gordon starting again on the left wing and returning straight away. So maybe it's a bit hasty to come off him. Johnston, though, I don't know how many weeks it's been without Johnston actually getting anything. The postman has well and truly lost his mail, hasn't he? It's been weeks now.
Yeah, you did warn about it, and it's clearly he's off the boil.
I mean, it was a freak start. It was hardly a massive call to say it might decline, but it's dropped off a cliff. It looks like at the moment. Newcastle West Ham, this could have been a battering as well. 12 shots on target for Newcastle. I don't think anyone expected much less, to be honest, with West Ham in this sim. The only surprise really is that David James didn't let in more of them for me, and Carl Court just continues to be great value at 7 million. I mean, he's not matching Shearer, but he's not far off. He's doing very, very well.
Yeah, he's a good pick. Surprising that Steve Chettle didn't get on the score sheet.
Yeah, he even got subbed. Maybe his time's over. Kieran Dyer as well. Attributes fantastic. On the right wing, assist again, 9. He's been great. He's been really good.
Yeah.
And that's not it, is it? We've got a few more.
One more.
Before
Monday.
The double, we had this one, which was again not really a classic. Most of the sims suggested that would be the case. 0-0, 1-0 to one of the teams. Henry with a goal, still only got a 7. So he wouldn't have got any bonus, would he? I can't remember. I don't think he did got any bonus.
No, you don't get bonus for a 7.
Yeah. So there's not much else to say really. Carboni with the 90th minute penalty, wiping out a lot of clean sheets. That will have broke some hearts. Carboni does usually get penalties over everyone else when he's in the team, so I expect that to continue. I think is he 6 or 6.5?
Can't remember.
I think he might be 6, and if he is, with Chelsea's good fixtures and penalties, I guess some might be tempted with him.
Yeah, I think he's inconsistent, isn't he? But he could tick along as a 4th midfielder, definitely.
Yeah, and midfield's where there's a lot of struggles at the moment, so I think that's where you take your punts, I think.
Just to say on question from Makoko, he's saying, is Tikhonov an actual option? He obviously had a great double game week. But...
He certainly did. He's been playing very well of late, hasn't he? Again, it's a midfielder, so I would never turn it down. We're going to have a look at some implications of fixtures coming up soon, but I wouldn't say no to any midfielder really, because the base is about 2 for most of them. So you never know. And he can sometimes get penalties ticking off, especially if Albertini's not on the pitch, which he gets subbed quite a lot, so you never know.
Yeah.
And then finally, the redemption for Viduka. This game, 8 shots, 8 on target, 4 goals. That's pretty good. Accuracy there, but Blackburn maybe a little bit unlucky not to score at least another one. Obviously, their goal as well came after the red card. So again, you could argue the other way, I suppose, a little bit unlucky not to keep the clean sheet. But Hearts suddenly started kicking into action, hasn't he, the last few weeks?
Yeah.
We've got no goals or assists from him for like the first 10 weeks or whatever it was, and then he started chaining them together now.
Yeah.
Was there any other surprises here on the lineup?
Backup bench, I suppose, but
yeah,
it's not a huge shock, is it?
And Kuehl we didn't know about, but obviously you say he picked up an injury midway between it or something.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, Kuehl, I've got him in my zombies. He's the one player I most regret.
It's been dreadful, hasn't he, to be honest?
He misses half the games. I can't believe it.
Yeah, Radaby
Definite
as well.
sell. I feel like, Radaby too, yeah. I feel like Harry Kuehl is just one you just can't own, I don't think.
Doesn't look like it, does it? Jonathan Woodgate's stats are improving quite a lot. Obviously, he's young in the game, so there's a chance that his reputation and ability's got to a point where he'll jump in for Radaby every now and then. But usually when I look back at the end of the season, Radaby's played like 32, 33 games, so I wouldn't expect
I'd expect him to play more. Dougal's calling out Stephen McPhail as essential. We'll see what we can do about that.
Yeah, let's see what we can do about that. Right. Let's go to the cup games then, and we can find out the implications.
So FA Cup, just a quick one to say is that if you go to results, basically any games that were draws means that the team will miss a fixture in game week 26 and it'll be moved backwards. Let's go. Should we skim over the results for the Premier League results?
Yeah, so it's quite hard to pick them out here, but we've got Derby Arsenal as the first Premier League game, and this was 1-1. So
that basically means that let me get my little sheet up. Basically, Derby and Arsenal will both miss games in game week 26. So Derby against Everton is postponed in 26, and that's moved into 27. And Arsenal West Ham has been moved out of 26, and that's been moved into 28. So Arsenal have got a pretty tasty double game week in game week 28.
Yeah. So now we got. Yeah, Arsenal blanking 26, and then they don't have a double when most other teams have a double, but then they have their own double on the one afterwards as a result of this. Luzhny obviously got a red card there as well, so I think that carries over at some point, doesn't it? But
Yeah, that will, yeah.
I don't think anyone's got him. And Tontonzola Makoku, again, look, he only come on in the 66th minute, and he still absolutely killed it.
What a player.
What a guy. Right. Everton beat Bradford 3-0. I don't think there's any implications of that, apart from what you just said. They're already playing Derby now, aren't they?
Yeah, new signing Arfexad there, sent off for Bradford.
This was the one that Spurs were interested in, wasn't it? So it's quite lucky they didn't get him, actually.
Yeah. That's to form, though, isn't it? Everton through is what we'd expect.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Gerrard came in for Simonson here, although it is.
There you go.
So.
Scala's called it in the chat. Derby actually have a triple game week in game week 27.
He's already worked it out, has he?
Yeah, so it's Nis and Scala both calling it, and Andy Martin, he already knew.
Yeah. Damn. Derby at the Triple A. Incredible.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a sec.
Tala called it first, sorry.
Tala, yeah, he's the man on the fixtures, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right, so this game here was 3-4. It's Fulham. What did we expect?
Yeah.
Steve Crowdson with the 4. People have picked up on the fact that he will be playing this week and is shocking. Saha back in again, performed as soon as he's in the team pretty well, and Shearer again with the brace.
Yeah, Colcourt injured as well there. Just noticed. We'll go over that later, but I actually hadn't realised that.
Yeah. Ipswich beat Liverpool 1-0, and it was Hariderson with a man of the match goal, clean sheet. Again, this guy is a cheat code. I don't care. Something's going on with him.
He's awesome.
Liverpool's team was, fairly close to what you'd expect. A little bit of rotation there, but they always do it, right? You can never tell whether that was reputation affected or not.
Massive shock up next.
Yeah, big shock up next. Leeds lost at home to... Are they Division 3, did you say?
Yeah, Division 3, yeah.
Division 3 Hull.
That's one of the greatest FA Cup shocks of all time, I think.
Leeds at home are only behind Man United in terms of their ability to just completely destroy teams.
Yeah.
Leeds did rest a few, but it's still a more than strong enough side.
I think they bought off... I saw that Bridges got injured as well there.
Yes.
Who did they bring on for him? So they had Jose Fernando. I don't know who that is.
A centre-back.
So I don't know what they did there to change up their formation. Maybe, I suppose Mabry or Matteo into midfield.
Yeah, Matteo and Mabry can both play midfield.
They clearly didn't create anything.
No, so Burns or Bacca probably went up top. But yeah, struggled massively. Middlesbrough dispatched of Southampton 2-0. We got Festa with a man of the match. Didn't get an assist or anything, just churned out the bonus.
Yeah.
Postman again did nothing. Gordon played again. It was full strength team pretty much.
Yeah.
Minus one person.
I like Paul Ince. He looks like he's a good option for his. Again, I think he's 6.5. I feel like he's.
Yeah.
Is that 6 goals in 18? That's good.
Yeah, he's like Dennis Wise, isn't it? They're around the same position, same age. He doesn't take the set pieces, Paul Ince, but he's still chipping in. It's not bad.
Yeah, Adam France is saying, is Ugo gone?
We shall see soon.
You tease.
Chelsea beat Millwall 4-2. Carboni at the brace.
Millwall are good on this game as well. They're going well in the Champions Division 1.
This guy's always becomes pretty good.
Yeah, and Tim Cahill I see there as well.
Yeah.
Stephen Reid off the bench is good.
Stephen Reid's fantastic signing in this game.
Yeah,
plays all
so versatile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
But yeah, pretty much full strength from Chelsea.
Yeah.
Where are we? Norwich, Barnsley.
Portsmouth, Man United. Another
Man United.
Big shock.
Juan Sebastian Veron getting sent off.
And he'll face a 3-match ban from, I think it's game week 27. So Man
United batter them only. Peter Crouch with the brace with his 20 jumping, 20 heading. Unstoppable in this game.
Man United dominated them really, didn't they?
They certainly did, but interestingly they played Scholes like this, which they can do sometimes. And York still didn't manage to get a return.
Yeah.
Dwight.
He'll get there eventually, one day.
Charlton Rotherham was 3-3. So that's a draw. So that has some implications, right?
Yep. So Charlton also have their game off in 26. They were due to play Newcastle, I believe. Let me check. In fact, Adam France has called it in the chat. He's another good fixture person. My computer's sort of frozen, so here we go. So yeah, they have been moved into 27 as well. So double game week for Newcastle and Charlton in 27,
which is pretty massive because I mean I've got 2 Charltons. Some people actually I've got 3 Charltons. I forgot Kylie, so I've got 3 from Charlton, and I've only got Shearer from Newcastle actually. But a lot of people have got Dyer, Shearer, maybe even a defender, and then got double or triple Charlton. So that's a whole host of players now blanking in 26.
Yeah. So we've got one game week which is coming up, game week 25, and then I think there's only 7 games in game week 26.
Yes.
And then 27 is a double/triple game week, and then 28 is a double for some teams as well.
For Arsenal and who do Arsenal play? West Ham.
Yeah, they've got a really tasty double actually. I think they've got Southampton and West Ham at home. I think.
No, they've Middlesbrough at home and.
Is it Middlesbrough?
Actually, is it Middlesbrough? No, I can't remember who the first game is actually, but they've definitely got West Ham at home as the second one. We'll have a look
it's someone not very good.
Yeah, you're right. Who have we got? Any more Prem? Is that it? Are we done? Oh,
have a little scroll down. Yeah, Sunderland.
Sunderland dispatched of Crew 2-0. The usual 2 are at it. Arca with the 9 man of the match and Kevin Phillips with a brace.
Just say, look, Arsenal have got Charlton and West Ham.
Charlton and West Ham. There we
Thank
go.
you, Tala. Thank you, Colm. People are saying this is absolute carnage, but I'm afraid, guys, there's more to come. This is just going to be one thing after another. This is only the beginning.
Right, so that's the cups. Do you want to?
Do you want to quickly look at the League Cup, just really quickly?
Oh yes.
Because basically, so we had 2 weeks in the game between the Prem games and the next round of games. There was also League Cup action.
So, League Cup, even though it's the semi-final, it's got a low reputation. Obviously, Preston are a low reputation. Man United just churned out the reserves. Seems to play better than their main team, to be honest. Danny Webber hitting the brace, showing Dwight York how it can be done.
Yeah. Get him in the team.
Yeah. And Liverpool won 3-1 against Leeds. So Leeds lost in both cups in the break, which is pretty shocking.
Oh, it looks like Stephen McPhail's picked up a knock.
Ooh. Preview.
But Viduka's still scoring. I mean, he's on fire. He just doesn't stop at the moment.
He's relentless, isn't he?
He looks to me like if we do another season, he'd be a 12.5 million player almost, right?
Well, he's returning every time he plays, unless it's a red card, isn't he? So,
he's almost better than Van Nistelrooy.
He's definitely better than Henri.
For sure. Yeah.
What else to say for Liverpool? There isn't really anything. Again, they played pretty much their full strength here. And that's it. That's the cups.
All right. Should we go through the club by club, give people the injury updates and?
Yes, let's do that. Everyone, there's no point showing the fixtures for the League Cup and the FA Cup, is it? They're already set, right? Or do people
I don't think so. No, and I don't think that the replays are going to affect. Like League Cup final will affect about game week 30 or something.
Right.
Tyler will know, I'm sure. Maybe 31. Com's asking. Irons is saying, "Can we sim this week again?" There's the replays. Obviously, so I feel maybe Luke, you should really quickly want to have a quick look at the Premier League fixtures and just so we can just see who the doubles are for people.
Okay, so we just did 24, didn't we? So this is 25.
Yeah, that's 25.
Okay, we already knew about that. We already knew about this 2 days for Chelsea here, where it goes on to 26.
And that's a very quick turnaround between those 2 game weeks. You can see that's a midweek game week, but there's just seven games.
So these are the 7 teams playing, because as a result of those blanks.
Yeah.
We then go on to 27, or have I skipped one already?
I don't know. Maybe I'm getting confused. Can you go back again, see? So this is 25, right?
Yeah, this is 25. This is 26.
26.
Yeah, and then
this must be 27.
And this is 27. Yeah, so these are the teams that are doubling.
Yeah. And if you skip forward one more.
If we go forward one more, we have Derby and Everton as the triple. So
Everton have got a double, but Derby have got a triple.
Yeah, so when we look at Derby, because obviously that's going to cause interest, they're home to Newcastle on the 9th. They're then home to Leeds, so that's 4 days later. So 4 days is generally fine condition-wise to pick that up. Might have a few that are stragglers. At the end of the day, home to Leeds is a pretty terrible game, I would suggest.
Yeah.
And then we've got a massive week in between their next game, so you wouldn't have thought there'd be any condition issues there unless they stick people in reserve games or anything like that. Or
Unless, is there a cup match on? Is that the next FA Cup round in the middle there on the 17th of February? They won't have it scheduled yet because they've got to play the replay.
Let's go to FA Cup. Will it show it? Will it be on the schedule?
Yeah, so that's FA Cup weekend. So they've got an FA potentially, but they have to get past Arsenal in a replay before they get a game on that day.
Yeah, they're away to Arsenal, so that's a tough ask, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's a potential they might play before that, but there's still the same situation is in play where it's Saturday to Wednesday here, so they'll have enough days in between. You would have thought.
Yeah. I feel like those fixtures to me, was it Newcastle at home, Leeds at home, Everton away? That doesn't feel like, it's a triple game week, so it's almost irresistible, but they're not the best fixtures.
They're not, but it's almost like, usually you want to go quality over quantity. We see it in FPL all the time, right? We just seen it with this double game week and stuff. We will load up on them and half the players that are really good and got a single do well. But when you got 3 games, you suddenly think all you need is 3 appearances for it to be possibly worth a -4 in some cases. It does tempt you, but predicting who's going to play 3 games will be reasonably tough because Derby actually seem to rotate quite a lot. It's not like it's Charlton or something, or reasonably consistent.
Carbonari's pretty safe, I would have thought.
Yeah, the likes of Lescott, Carbonari, the keeper's obviously going to be.
Mark Payne would be a good pick.
Yeah, and then you've got Valakari's been very, very good.
Yeah.
People like Powell. You could chance Makoku. I personally wouldn't, but if he plays even one of them, you can see how well he can do.
I think he's well worth a punt at 4.5, and it's just a 1 week punt.
Yeah, and then there's Ravanelli and Christie that will probably play the majority of them up top. And then pre-season friendly Burnley. There's a few options, and they're all cheap. Even Powell as well plays quite a lot. But hey, let's go for the teams then, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just remind everyone fixtures actually quickly, just so we know the days. So Saturday we've got the majority of teams playing, as you'd expect. Arsenal, Newcastle, West Ham and Everton have got an extra day for recovery. And then Chelsea, Southampton have got an extra 2 days. That's all by condition. So you've got the list in front of you as well, haven't you, Dave?
I've got the list, so if you go through it and I'll
check if I've missed anything.
Yeah.
The majority of players here are obviously not first teamers. There's not too much to worry about condition wise. Kanu has got international next to him, so I'm going to assume he's been called up too.
Yeah, so Kanu and Lauren are both going to the African Cup of Nations.
Okay. Oh yeah, Lauren down.
Oh, and Carlin and Tonga as well down there. Don't think he's going to matter too much.
20 for finishing, you never know. And Lujny, who did he get red carded, didn't he, or something?
Yeah, he did.
So he's got a 1 match ban that starts on the 9th.
Nice.
And Ashley Cole's 1 yellow away. I think that was already the case, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Dougal's asking what game week is AFCON. Basically, the Cameroon and Nigeria and the Congo players are going this week. South Africa, I think, are going the week after. Their game is a bit later. But these guys, so it starts on the 11th of February, but they've already gone. So the South Africa players are going very soon, but it looks like they're going to miss most of February, probably, those players.
Yeah, that's. I suppose that could be good news. The fact that Kanu's gone, it kind of helps out Jeffers and Henri, you'd expect.
Yeah.
And now Lauren's gone. He's been playing right wing a lot, hasn't he? So you'd expect maybe Pires and Lumbo might start getting more minutes.
Mate, could you flick up the African Cup of Nations schedule quickly, just so people can see? There you go. So it finishes on the 2nd of March. So that's something people can refer back to if they need to.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Right, let's get to Villa. Hadji's orange flag still 3 weeks away. Dublin's only a few days away, 90%. So obviously he could feature. Hendry's 10 days after I think he got injured in the 1-0 against Blackburn. So potentially opens up Ginola on the left wing, I would suggest there. Who actually, I think he came on for him, didn't he? So he can do alright when he gets left wing. And I don't think there's any other news here, is there, from these guys?
No, if you keep going, I'll just shout if I know if there's anything that you haven't mentioned.
Cool. Blackburn. There's no point in me even clicking these guys, really, is there? They ain't going to play. Condition.
Got a new sign in there. T. Ludvigsen.
Oh yes.
Do it.
And he can actually get all right in the game as well. He gets signed quite often.
I think he started on the wing in the last game, so we'll add him as a midfielder because he started in midfield.
Yeah, I mean, with Blackburn's formation as well, the way they play, he's certainly not going to be playing as well. You wouldn't have thought he's going to be playing as the one up top away from home, would he? If anything, he'll be playing maybe that right wing slot where Hignett is if he does play.
Yeah.
At home, obviously they've got 3 spots that AMC and 2 forwards, so you never know. He's obviously quite young and raw, and when players get signed, they often get thrown straight in. So whether he continues to play or not, I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah. Andy Martin is saying 5 million mid. I think that sounds right. What do you reckon? 5 million mid, Ludvigsen, announced.
Watch him play up front and start scoring hat-tricks now.
Yeah. And then get injured.
Yeah. And Kelly's
Alan
still
Kelly
suspended.
Yeah.
For 1. So Brad Fiedel should remain. Let's move on.
Rob Pick is praying for the player who's on 2% fitness. It's nice of you, Rob.
Ronnie Corbett. 2%.
He's played some Prem games this season.
He's got damaged knee cartilage for 2 weeks, but yeah, nearly died as a result. Bolton. Gardner's at 96%. I think everyone who matters really there. I mean, Nolan's 92, still over 90 though. Pedersen's obviously 100, he's the main one. And then Cooper's 1 yellow away from a suspension. But I don't think there's any other news for these guys.
No.
Charlton. Again, condition-wise, everything's looking pretty good. Luke Young is 1 yellow away from a ban.
Yeah.
And
they've got it. Shitu's going on international duty, and I think
oh yes,
obviously they'll lose Bartlett and Fish, I imagine, soon.
Well, their fixtures are on the 12th of Feb, so yeah, you'd imagine they'll get called up.
I think this will be their last game before they go away.
Okay. Cool. I saw transfer Svensson there for some reason, and it was red. I suddenly thought this was Southampton and he was getting sold at the moment. Chelsea. So the usual suspects that have been injured for a long time still remain. So a week for Dallabonna, 2 weeks for Di Matteo.
I think, has Di Matteo got a transfer arranged on him or not? Did I imagine that?
No. And T is, I think this is a new one, is it? 2 weeks?
Yeah, that's new. Yeah.
Okay. So Carboni's usually on penalties when he plays anyway, but that kind of cements Carboni for penalties, I would say now. Actually, I don't want to say that. This is CM. They just hand them over at will, don't they? So I'll take that back instantly. I don't think... Yeah, Babayaro is the other one, isn't it? So he's obviously with Nigeria as well. So Babayaro will be away on African nations. So they've got a bit of an issue at left back because I think he might be their only major left back. I think they have played this kid once as a sub, Keenan. You could also stick Gallas there, he's a left back. Or can play at left back rather. So you'd imagine it'd be one of those two that comes in.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on.
I imagine people aren't going to be looking at Chelsea too closely. Derby, our triple game week now, darlings. Everyone's going to be watching Derby closely now.
Yeah. Aranio, I think that was already out, so 3 weeks. He usually plays the majority for them. Ravanelli's a few days, 90%. So you never know. They could obviously start him in this game, which then he runs the risk of getting injured and potentially missing all 3. In fact, I might like that, prefer that, because then that might give us Christie as maybe an option that you can more rely on to start all 3.
Yeah, I think Christie's an option. I think he's an option anyway. Look, 19 starts, very good.
Yeah, he's often not that high, but he's definitely been favoured in this sim. There isn't any other news here, is there?
No, Dino's injured, but I don't think anyone cares about him.
No, 3 weeks. Everton, David Weir injured for 2 weeks with a groin strain. Few might have him. Condition-wise, everyone else looks pretty good that's going to play.
Yeah, Nyar, he's out on loan anyway.
And that's everyone.
Yeah.
No point spending too much time here.
No.
Fulham. Obviously, Davies got the suspension. That's coming up, but he's also injured as well with a stub toe. So he's actually injured and then he's got his suspension, or is it for both of this game? I think it's both.
I think both for this game.
Both for this game, okay.
Definitely nailed on out. Van der Sar as well there has got a suspension.
Yeah, so he's a 2-match ban for Edwin. That's a big loss, I would suggest, even though he's been a bit erratic, to be fair.
Few players on 90% there.
Yeah, a few players on 90%. McAnaspy can play if Harley doesn't play, so he's back for a few days, but usually Harley's ahead. And Coleman, who can be decent, is 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
None of the other guys really play, so there's no point clicking them.
No.
Stolz's is back.
Nice.
100%.
You don't need to go back to Blackburn, but we missed at Blackburn that Damian Johnson, who was already out on loan, has been sold to Brentford for £825,000.
No. And Boa Morte is suspended because he picked up his yellow, so that's quite significant.
That is, yeah, so he's going to miss the next game. Yeah, that's pretty big.
Your darling.
Yeah, I love Boa Morte. He's let me down a little bit, though, I feel like.
No, he's done pretty well. I mean, he started to play well again. He had a little patch where he was pretty awful, but he started to play well there. And come end of season, when he's got, in the end it'll be like 36 games or whatever it is. If he can make one of these double figures, that's pretty much standard Boa Morte. He does about that well. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Stolz is back fit, that's good.
Yeah. Ipswich. Tariko is a few days away. He's 71%. So he's so just tempting. Getting over that threshold where they can start if they're over 70. So you never know. I really wouldn't want him to start because he's very likely to either come off subbed or injured. So it's a risk to play him, I would suggest, but he could feature. Fanidi, obviously with Nigeria.
Is he gone? Is he gone on international?
Yes.
List him off my list. I need to make sure we update that.
And I think that's it. Nothing else of note, really. Big one here. Look at this.
Look at the Reds there.
Yeah. So first of all, we'll just start with the biggest news, shall we? Stephen Mathale, owned by everyone, 5 million, the darling. 2 months with an Achilles tendon. I think that's rest in peace. I mean, where are we? Feb. That's basically almost season ending, isn't it? It's close.
Yeah, he'll come back for the sort of the last 4 or 5 games, but it's a disaster if you own him.
As much as that hurts me and probably everyone else, I think it's good for the game because he's too cheap and too good. So get rid of him. It forces us to make decisions. Unfortunately, for people like me without free hits and wildcards, it's just another headache on top.
Yeah.
There's also a number of injuries here. Kuehl obviously picked up that injury, so he's few days 57%. So I'd be highly surprised if he was to start. Bowie is actually 90%.
He should come back in.
Yeah, with a torn groin, so he could. Viduka serves his 1-match ban as a result of that red at home to Bolton. Incredibly annoying because it's a really good game for him, obviously. Batty is 1-match ban starting on the 6th.
Yeah.
So that'll be for the second game, would it? Yeah.
If anyone's confused as well, players like Viduka, obviously, they picked up their reds basically 2 weeks ago in game, which is why it goes straight into suspension. Normally, it would be a delay, but the timing has been disastrous. And
then Robbie Keane obviously picked up his other yellow, so he's banned for this home to Bolton match as well. Decor's injured 90% few days, so possibly could feature. And then Michael Bridges is 3 weeks as a result of the injury that he got against Hull. So that leaves Leeds incredibly short. Up front especially, where as far as I can tell it's pretty much Alan Smith holding the fort up top.
Yeah. Would you be tempted to pick Alan Smith for a bit of a punt?
The problem is that Viduka and Keane are only out for 1 game, aren't they? So it's very much a 1-game punt. It's one of those ones where if you're dead ending and you've got chips and stuff, it could be very, very lucrative. There's no way I can do it because I've just got too many issues, and then I'll have to get one at Viduka back or whatever. But on paper, it looks a tasty game for him. I'm not even sure who they would play up front with him, to be honest. I mean, this guy's been on the bench quite a lot. Simon Johnson has come on 5 times, so he's probably
he's got nice attributes, actually, hasn't he? I think it would probably be him.
He can get really good in the game, actually. He does quite often.
Maybe they play Backer in attacking midfield. They sometimes put Keane in attacking midfield. Maybe do that.
McMaster gets very good in the game. There's always a chance he can do it. They've got loads of youngsters. This Farrell guy's got decent dribbling off the ball.
Off the ball, yeah.
So he could play. Yeah, it'd just be
basically a bit of a crapshoot, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Right, I don't think there's any more news for them.
No, I think that's it for Leeds.
Right, let's go to Leicester.
No, with Leicester, there's a big piece of managerial news.
Oh yes, let's just start with that then. So the manager has gone, and Billy Davies is now in charge. Obviously, Leicester are 18th in the Premier League. Got rid. He's 4-4-2. Prefers a direct attacking style of play, which is usually that's what Tigana uses for Fulham. So Leicester are already a bit of a Fulham team in terms of score quite a lot of goals, but can't really keep them out. And now they've got a guy who's probably going to play in a similar style to Fulham. So that could be good for their attacking assets. Probably not so for their defensive ones. So yeah, that's one to look out for. And Dennis Wise obviously got his red card. This game week just gone, missed out the 2 weeks, and now he's banned for this one. Everyone else looks good.
Yeah, Akinbaye is going away, so that would mean that Sturridge and presumably Scowcroft are pretty nailed up front now.
Yeah, although Joby Makinov just played the last one up front, didn't he? But you would have thought those two.
Were they all fit for that game? Sturridge, I feel like was 90%. He had an orange injury, I think, so that might be why he.
Cool. You never know. What's his name? Not Dean Sturridge. Where is he? Is it Trevor Benjamin?
Oh yeah, Trevor Benjamin, of course.
He's listed for loan at the moment, but again, he's not too bad.
Yeah.
He's come on 5 times, so we'll see. Generally, what seems to happen, I think, when a new manager comes in is very much like the first 2 or 3 weeks we had in this sim, where they'll throw random players out. It's like they don't know who they're picking for their 11, but usually what happens is, because they just pick on reputation and current ability, is after the 3 weeks, as long as the formation is the same as the previous manager, they'll end up with the same players. So it's like West Ham when the manager took over, he's ended up basically playing the same team because he plays the same formation. But for the first 2 or 3 weeks, expect some erratic choices. Basically, you could find anyone happen.
That's helpful.
And then it will hopefully settle down.
Because if he's a Tigana style manager, you would think that's goals for Sturridge, Scowcroft, assists for Wise. Even Izzet can be explosive on this.
Yeah, and he gets penalties usually as well. So he's an option. Liverpool, Fowler is out for a few days with a bruised thigh.
That's from the cup match, I think.
57%, so highly unlikely to play. I think everyone else is good, including this chap, who's yet to make his debut this season in the league.
Do you think he's a wait and watch?
I think he's good, and if you're after, I mean, this is the time where most people have got loads of forwards out.
Yeah, that's true. What's Liverpool's fixtures like?
So home to Spurs, who we know can't defend. Villa, Ipswich, it's not bad. Middlesbrough, Chelsea's a bit iffy. And then it's a nice little run after.
I see in the chat a lot of people were saying, and I know Rob Pick was talking about it, but like wildcarding around 27-ish. If you're doing that, then he could be a short-term pick, maybe.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, he's got potential to score a lot of goals. His stats are amazing. It's really his jumping and heading that let him down. But with Owen, it doesn't really. I mean, it's similar to Phillips, really, where he's got the pace, acceleration, and off the ball. Occasionally, he gets penalties back as well when he comes.
Yeah,
not always. So definitely an option, I think. But
yeah,
an expensive one, but
Man United, the big one.
Man United. So, similar to Leeds, they've been largely ravaged here. We may as well just go straight to it. Van Nistelrooy is out for 3 weeks. This guy's usually basically immune to injury, so it's a big surprise that he got injured. I mean, that's just amazing.
How many games is he going to miss?
So he's 3 weeks. So where are we? We're on the 2nd, right?
So it's 3 games in the next week alone.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he might come back for the Tottenham one after, to be fair.
So he could come back for this game here. He might be yellow still. Have I got...
Yeah, he could be orange. I mean, they could also play him against Fenerbahce if he's orange. If he's
That's a concern. Yeah, because it's a Champions League game, there's a high chance that he might play that orange or something.
I would love it. I would love it if his injury recurred. I know it's harsh, but like just it'd be fun.
But it looks like somewhere around there. You just see the congestion for Man United here. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and his potential strike, one of his potential strike partners, Andy Cole, is also.
Yeah. So Andy Cole is out for 10 days. Dwight Yorke let me down. Last week I said he was going to score against Leeds. He didn't. He was useless again. Now he's basically their only... Well, I mean, they've got Solskjaer as well, but the game doesn't seem to favour him that much. So I would expect, given that Yorke has played nearly every game, or at least sort of 80% of them, that Dwight Yorke will be up front this week.
Yeah.
And who have they got? They've got a reasonable game. Away to Blackburn. I suppose that's not the best, but...
It's not a bad run of 3 there, though. Blackburn away, Sunderland at home, Fulham away is pretty good.
Yeah. They obviously play in the blank as well, don't they?
Yeah. Adam France says his Scholes a decent option.
Yeah.
He could play up front.
I've been looking at him a lot, I'll be honest, because not only could he obviously play up front like we just saw in the Cup, and I think there's a chance he plays it over Solskjaer, so he probably will be up front with... why am I on Liverpool? With York. But then... The other part of this is that Veron is then suspended, isn't he, from the 9th for 3 matches.
That's a good point.
So even if Andy Cole comes back, he then should go into midfield. You don't want to say for definite because they've got so many good centre midfielders. They could play Beckham there, they could play Butt there. Do you know what I mean? They could play loads, but it's looking pretty good for him, I would say.
Yeah. And then Barthez as well is injured. Someone else pointed in the chat. I didn't see it. Let me see. Clean sheet wipeout pointed out that Leao, the goalkeeper's on 66% as well.
Yes.
So how long's Barthez out for?
Barthez is out for 2 weeks. That's a very good point. This is a very good test of this 70% cut-off, actually. I'd be surprised if he plays this one. Normally he won't. So who are they going to play? Probably, is it Ratchabuka or someone, or Colkin? Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be him.
Yeah.
Could be Jousey. He was sub here.
He's been on the bench quite a bit. Yeah,
he's shocking. 9 for handling. I wouldn't be playing him at all. And
Dougal says sign Shwan Jalal on loan from Spurs.
And then there's Colkin as well. They've got a number of them here. It could be
Van der Howe, obviously, as well.
Yeah. His transfer list is... I don't know whether they'd play him.
It's hilarious they've loaned out Roy Carroll. They could really do with him.
Yeah. The one guy who's half decent out of all those. I mean, if it's Jousey, they're in for trouble here. I mean, he's got 18 for agility, and that's not too bad. The reflexes are okay, but it's going to be spilling the ball all over. The thing is, Man United don't really get shots against them, do they? So how much it will affect them.
True.
Barthez isn't much of an upgrade on all of them anyway. He lets in 1 shot, 1 goal nearly every game.
Yeah. Wes Brown's injured too there. I know he's not in many teams, but how long is he out for?
Yeah, where is he? He's out for a few days.
Okay.
But he's red, so that's pretty good. He'll probably just be back and won't get played in orange flag.
They'll probably be fine because they've got such a good squad, but it could be a difficult run. Missing Van Nistelrooy and then missing Varane, Barthez. It's not the same sort of fixture quite for the opposition teams for the next couple of games.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, they've still got pretty much their full strength midfield until Veron goes out, and Scholes is obviously still good, so you'd still expect they create a lot of chances. Beckham's 1 away from a yellow, so obviously he could drop out, and then Blanc's 1 away from a yellow, a ban, sorry, not a yellow. Silvestre, was he injured before? Is he now back? I think
he was injured a while ago. I think he's been fit pretty much for a couple of weeks.
I think he was playing 90%, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Middlesbrough. Joseph Desiree Job has gone to Cameroon. Or gone to the Cameroon team.
Just to say, I know I can see Tyler in the chat. I haven't put Joseph Desiree Job or Finidi on the international players list, so if Tyler could add those to the master international players list, that would be very helpful to get updated on the website.
There's no real team news here, apart from...
Yeah.
It's happened, finally. He's gone.
Yeah. Man United and Arsenal were both interested in him just before he left. I was hoping that he would stay, but he's gone.
Yeah, and I've seen him go to both those teams. Celtic is something like, I mean, that's why I was so confident in. You can run 20 sims, and probably in about 15 of them he'll end up at Celtic. He might stay in like the odd one. Like usually it's like a timing with injuries. Like if he's got an injury, then obviously he can't be sold. That kind of helps him, or he ends up at Man U or Arsenal occasionally. So he is gone. So you'd expect, as Ian Pearce has been playing centre half, that could either continue, or Fester, as has been talked about, comes into the centre. Gordon ends up at left back.
Coming back.
Yeah, and then Greening and Johnston, because Greening is back. He was, I think, orange at one point as well recently. He had a 2-week injury.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, it definitely makes them less appealing as a team.
I mean, Ekyog's, just ridiculously good. I mean, Southgate's also fantastic, so they're still going to be good. And if they move Fester into centre-back with him, which should probably be the better option for them, he's still a really good centre-back as well. It's going to make a difference, but they've still got some good defenders.
Yeah.
So they should be all right.
Jack Brokenshire is saying bye-bye Gordon. Do you think that's the right conclusion? Sell Gordon now?
I mean, he'd already started to show signs of being rotated, which happens most sims, and now Ekyog's gone as well. I would have thought, when he does play, it's highly likely to be at left back. I mean, you have to rely on Pearce here. If Pearce plays centre and Fester plays left, then Gordon's still got that slot open. But then obviously you've still got the Greening issue, where Greening and Johnston, the game wants to play both of those guys.
Yeah.
So occasionally I will see him dropping out. Yeah. The thing is, you could argue that even if he drops out the occasional one, when he does play, I mean, we saw last week, right? Assist, clean sheet, bonus. He can still be value, but I haven't got him, and I won't be getting him back. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Newcastle then. So Carl Court, as we saw in the game, is 10 days with a gashed leg. These gashes are lethal. Studs these guys are wearing. You checking, I think. Robes a few days away.
Yeah, and Solano's also on 90% there.
And Solano is a few days away as well. So they're going to get both their presumably first choice wingers back after this game, you would have thought. And you really hope the game doesn't play them this week when they've got that close and they get re-injured. It'd be so CM for that to happen, wouldn't it? I hope they don't.
I mean, if they get them both back, they'll be looking really good all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, the left wing's been a bit of an issue for them, hasn't it? The right wing's been okay because Dyer's been fantastic on the right wing. So the thing is, Dyer will probably... I mean, Solano's not nailed anyway, but let's assume he is. Dyer will then come into the centre with Basidas, you would have thought.
That is a strong midfield, isn't it? Robert, Solano, Basidas, Dyer.
And they dropped this clown
he's so bad.
He's awful, yeah. He's really bad. He's actually only got 15 or something for centre midfield, and he's got 20 for the AMC position, so he's never actually a midfield centre anyway. And obviously in that position, it's like Slakovic, where you actually have to do some defending, and it's not for him to do, is it?
So in this Breckin and clean sheet wipeout, both saying they have no strikers because they have Viduka, Rube, and Nisray in court. So maybe after we've gone through the team by team, we could have a quick chat about strikers.
Yeah, I'm not far behind you. I've got Viduka, Van Nistelrooy, and Shearer actually. So I've got one, but I actually took a hit to get rid of Rebrov. Otherwise, I'd have had Rebrov as well. But there we go.
How long's Chettle suspended for, Luke?
Oh yes, didn't look at that, did I? 2-match ban.
Cool.
So you never know. Dabizas could finally turn up again. Where has he gone? Oh, he was on the bench.
He's unhappy. Yeah,
he's been unhappy for a while. He wants a new contract. I think before that he was unhappy about something else as well. Maybe I could have that wrong, but...
Tyler's calling Shearer back on pens, but I fully expect to see Andy O'Brien stepping up to take the next one.
Oh, God. I think they're playing Arsenal next, aren't they? Yeah, away to Arsenal.
And then they've got the double of they against... So their doubles... Is that the double?
They've got a blank, haven't they? So they're away to Arsenal.
Yeah.
And then they've got a double of Derby and Charlton.
I like that. I think that's two good fixtures for their attackers, especially.
I mean, home to Charlton's usually a gimme, and away to Derby, it's not far off that either, is it? So yeah, not bad. Yeah, that's it. Southampton, no one's got these guys, so we're going to steam through these.
The only thing is, mate, again, managerial.
Yes.
Change.
They've had enough, finally. 19th in the league.
Stuart Gray, gone. He was a terrible manager in real life as well, so Delighted to see him.
I don't
gone.
remember him at all, actually, Stuart Gray.
He was so bad. Second only to Steve Wigley in Southampton manager badness.
So we're in this situation then where we haven't got another manager. We know from previous that the assistant manager doesn't seem to take over the team. In any case, he's utterly dreadful. I don't think I've ever seen a staff member with that bad stats. So we could see a random formation this week, basically. It's like, when Sunderland had Phillips going out to the left wing, for example. There's about 3 stock formations that the AI will go to when there's not a manager. So we could end up with something random, essentially.
No one wants Southampton. Like you say, they're just in a void, aren't they?
No, but I suppose Chelsea are home to Southampton this week, aren't they? So
that's true.
If you're going to be chaos there, then there could be one to target.
I can feel the Carbone bandwagon slowly starting up.
It's about time. Sunderland, Michael Gray. I think, was he already out 2 months? I think he was already out, wasn't he? Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
2 months.
Great news for Arca, basically.
Yeah. Chris Bart-Williams is a few days, 90%, so he could feature. Diccio doesn't play, does he? But he's injured. And Swartz is obviously, he's got a 4-match ban, so I don't know if that's as accumulation or his red card.
I think he got sent off earlier in the season, I think, did he?
Maybe, or is it one of the, sometimes they extend the ban, don't they, if they do something really bad? I can't remember what he actually did.
I don't know, actually. But I think it was a 2-foot tackle.
Maybe a dangerous 2-footed challenge on Everson.
I think usually on the game, I think they add on, and if you get your 3-match ban, if you've already been sent off, you get an extra one.
Yeah, there you go. You got sent off earlier, so you're right. Phillips is 100%. Where's Arca? Arca is 100%.
Is James Beattie transfer listed? Mokoko says.
I think he wanted to go along. He's been like that for a while. He requested.
Now wants to stay at the club. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's been like that for a while.
Talking of Mokoko, I did notice when I was looking at the game the other day that Tonton is his contract expires in the summer. Derby still haven't tied him down.
Yeah,
so
that's one I always poach in for. Yeah. When I'm playing the game. Samba as well. Radzlock originally about this time. Spurs, Rebrov pulled hamstring 2 weeks. So this is a result of him coming on for that cameo, right, and then going back off.
Yeah.
So previously he had a dead leg, and now he's got a pulled hamstring. So the fact he was low condition isn't anything. It's another heart situation all over again. When he was low condition, came on and then got a completely separate injury.
Does the low condition make him more susceptible to that, though?
I don't think so. I mean, there's no way to know for sure, but I think I've mentioned, like, if you play in the German league and you play as Bayern Munich or Dortmund, the game will actually throw you into some sort of cup qualification within 2 days of you starting, and your entire squad is on 50 to 60%. You can't do anything about it, so you're just forced to play them. But you don't get any more injuries as a result. Nothing that I've certainly noticed. So
incredible chance then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so, but I don't know at the end of the day. Poyet's 10 days. So he obviously came back. He's 52%, so he's again not going to feature. I wouldn't have thought. Doherty's 2 weeks to come and annoy us, and Dean Richards is still 3 weeks away. I think that's everyone, isn't it? Or Ledley King's still 1 game away from a ban.
Yeah.
And then West Ham. None of these guys really featured too often, but most of them are over 90%. Repka suspended is pretty big. He's obviously their main defender. Who are they playing? Everton. That's
not too appealing. Yeah, West Ham are another avoid, aren't they, really?
And Joe Cole's 1 game away from a ban.
The only player we missed out, I think, in the whole way through was Chris Bart-Williams is on 90%, so fairly irrelevant, but it might affect Arca it might mean that Arca plays midfield, maybe.
Yeah. And I think that's all the teams.
Yeah. Should we do a bit of Q&A in the chat before we sign off? I don't know. Obviously, we've got the double game weeks all coming up. So do you want to just have a look at what the exact double game weeks are for those teams and see how appealing they are in general?
Yeah. Where are we? Here.
So if you go to that 9th of Feb, if you scroll forward.
9th of Feb?
Yeah, so that's this week.
Yeah.
And then if you scroll forward, that's the blank game week, and then this is the double. So 9th of Feb is the double.
I'm with you. So Arsenal are they're not doubling in this week, are they? They're doubling the week after.
Yeah, Arsenal double. So Newcastle have got Derby away.
Newcastle have got Derby away and Charlton at home.
Then Charlton have got Newcastle away. Or is it just a single game week for them? Oh, Chelsea at home. There you go. On the Sunday.
So that's not. I mean, Chelsea at home seems to be a reasonable fixture at the moment, so that's not too bad. The away game, Charlton are pretty bad away though.
Yeah.
The thing is that they make up most of our benches and people like Kylie and stuff, so you're just going to throw them in regardless.
Yeah. Kylie and Wilcox are just solid choices.
Yeah. Leeds away to Derby and home to Middlesbrough. I really do actually like this because I think Leeds just at home are usually incredible. So I would have expected a reasonable win here at home to Middlesbrough, even though Middlesbrough are obviously tough. They've just lost Ekyog as well. So I still really like that, to be honest. And then away to Derby, it's still a decent game for them, I think. So I still like Leeds double quite a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
And then obviously,
so people are asking when the fixtures will be updated on the website. They'll be updated after this stream. So all the injury, suspensions, and fixtures will be updated after this stream.
Yeah, and Ben Crellin, I'm sure, will be on it straight away as well for his fantastic planner.
Yeah.
It helps to visualise these things, doesn't it? Because it's quite hard looking at it in this version. So it's the same for me in planning. I need to have it in those bright colours. They help simple people like me.
Andy Martin's just saying, if you scroll forward a bit as well, we've got Everton have got a double as well. Obviously, they've got Derby for the second of the double. You've gone a bit too far now, actually, I think.
Derby haven't got...
Everton, yeah. There you go. Everton, Derby. So Everton have got Derby at home, and then they've got Blackburn away for their other one.
Yes. So that's not bad. But I don't think many people will have any players from them is the problem.
So yeah, there's your doubles. Not very appealing teams in general. Like those aren't teams that are massively highly owned.
Yeah, it's more the Newcastle, Arsenal, Charlton. The fact that they blank causes a lot of chaos essentially because they're very heavily owned.
Rob Pick's asking, is Bowie a good option for the 27 double, which we've just looked at?
I mean, yeah, if he's back fit, Bowyer can be great. We've got Rob.
That is only a week away, though, isn't it? Am I right in saying that, or is it 2 weeks away in the game?
For Leeds.
Yeah, so the first game of those doubles is a week away, and Bowie is still 2 weeks away from being fully fit. So,
yeah,
I would handle with caution there.
Yeah, when he comes back, he could be a good option, but I'm just hesitant to call anything on Leeds as well at the moment because their team selection continues to surprise me most weeks. Keane's often not nailed, and he's played the vast majority. Smith and Bridges haven't got a look in. Kuehl just randomly drops out. It's McPhail's definitely not nailed. I know injuries have helped his case, but he seems to be playing every week. Well, not anymore, he won't be, but he had been. So,
I wonder if Mabry becomes a really good option for that double potentially if Bowie is not quite back yet.
You do love Mabry, don't you? You love him.
I love Mabry. 4.5 a defender. I mean, you can't complain about that.
He's played an awful lot more than I expected, to be fair.
Yeah, he's got 15 games, 4 attacking returns, plus these do keep some clean sheets.
I don't think it's a bad shout. The problem is Leeds are just such a good team with so many doubles. They play in the blank and have a double. So nailing your 3 Leeds options, which I think everyone had McPhail as one of them, is going to be key, I suppose. So it's who do you go from McPhail? I mean, I'd like to say that Kuehl is a reasonable pick, but first of all, he's injured this week and doesn't seem to play or do anything. So suddenly I don't know whether it's worth it or not.
It's just not nailed, I think.
I think Backer's probably the next standout one in midfield, if anyone.
I think Robbie Keane is a...
Oh, he's been great. He's been fantastic.
I think he's been really underpicked because Viduka's doing so well. But I would personally say that he's a really good option for that double game week.
Maybe, I mean, a lot of people as well, I noticed, are going to have Seaman and Crossley. And obviously they both blank in 26. So people might be without a goalkeeper. So a Seaman to Martin.
Crossley blank? Do you mean Kylie?
Kylie, sorry, yes. Seaman and Kylie, my mistake.
Yeah.
People have got those two. So as a result, you could then bring Martin in, I think, as your third potentially. I don't really love it, but he plays in the blank and the double.
Yeah. Um, One of the things, yes, someone's asked about Stolzers and Biscan. Both Stolzers and Biscan are both fit. One of the things we were saying before came on is sort of you've got to view this next little run of fixtures as a block. Like I was saying, a 2-week block of the blank and the double game week in 26 and 27, but others were saying 4 weeks from now basically takes you all the way through to the end of 28. So you've got to see it as a block. Like there might be weeks where you've only got 10.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's I'm in that situation myself where I don't have chips. So anyone that I want to remove that blanks, I instantly want back again for the double. That's the problem. So trying to navigate that's going to be pretty hard. So I think you might. I mean, I'm just probably going to have to take some weeks on the chin. So like for example, getting rid of Viduka would make sense because it's a power position. Is although those forwards are great, he's obviously suspended this week, but I really don't want to do it because then he's got a game in the blank and then he's got a double and he's fantastic. So suddenly that's 2 swaps I'm booking in if I get rid of him. So I'm tempted just to bench him, but then you've got that woe of you're benching a forward like that. Where are my points going to come from this week? Because those are the guys that get them. It's a real dilemma. Shearer's away to Arsenal. So I know it's Shearer, but you wouldn't expect much from that game. And then Henry looks like because Van Nistelrooy is injured. Henry suddenly looks like he might be good because he's obviously playing, but then he blanks before his double comes a little bit after. But he's got 2 nice games before that. So it's like again, do you go Henry for the immediate fixtures? So he's got home to Newcastle, away to Leicester.
And where's his blank? Sorry, in 20.
He blanks in 26, so it would be in between here, wouldn't it? So again, it's just booking transfers again. That's the problem. If you've got Henry, you're obviously keeping him. If you haven't got him,
Arsenal's fixtures are amazing, but almost too good. Charlton against coming on the back of that big Champions League game, to have Charlton and West Ham as 2 Rep 12 teams, I feel like there could be some rotation there potentially for Henry or other Arsenal assets.
That's not a bad shout, to be fair.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you think, oh yeah, brilliant, but then I wouldn't be surprised to see. I think Campbell missed a game recently.
I mean, yeah, these are very West Ham are rock bottom rep. Charlton's will have increased a little bit, but it'll still be 12-13. And yeah, it's a home game against one of those. And Arsenal have not done it that often this season. So you look at any player come the end of the season, they've usually played like 35 games, even the top players. So they do miss a game here or there somewhere about. So I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. So that could be really annoying because I think a lot of people who got triple captain will be, frothing at the mouth potentially of an Henry triple captain for that.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I've got a few people. So we've got Daryl is asking, is Jimmy Floyd an option with 2 good fixtures? Brendan Davis is also asking about a Chelsea striker, and Cobbler is suggesting Good Johnson. Peter Carter is also saying he's going for Good Johnson. Yeah, Daryl is warning that Jimmy Floyd has about wrecked his wild card. It's a good warning.
I mean, the games are good. It's what they're saying, especially with the teaser of playing Southampton this week. Remember, they've only got those 2 days between the games here, which didn't. I mean, Chelsea actually had this before in the season, if you remember, and they didn't actually rotate all that much.
But they got smashed in the second game, didn't they?
I can't remember. They didn't. I mean, I know Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank let people down in the second game. I can't remember if they got smashed or not.
I seem to have some recollection that they basically.
Where was it?
Monday
to Wednesday, here it was. Oh yes, you're right, they got beat 4-0 by Sunderland.
Yeah, I remember that. People weren't happy about that.
No, and Jimmy went off.
With 2 days between games, that feels like too much of a push.
I mean, there'll be players on low condition, so there will be some. It depends how much energy they use in the game. The fact that it's home to Southampton, they probably won't use that much. But any player you pick might not play both, basically. And I don't think you can go Jimmy at the moment anyway, because I think it's probably been about 3 or 4 weeks since he's even played a game for Chelsea, hasn't it? He's just been, since he's been unhappy.
I think Jimmy is a definite avoid. He's just seems well out of favour.
I'm just trying to see the last time he actually even played. It's a long time ago. I mean, that would be an absolute pluck from the sky if you got that one.
Incredible that they're just not putting him in the team.
It's here since this game. I mean, it's because he's unhappy. I think he's here waiting to see how the manager...
4 goals in 18 games as well is pretty terrible.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shambles. But home to Southampton, if he came in this game, I'd still back him to score a goal, to be fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Good Johnson's probably, of anyone, it's probably Good Johnson for me. Carboni for Pens is another option, and then the defence. I still like Terry, Melchiot, Desai. I think they're all reasonable picks, but yeah, again, it's transfer.
They're just not a team that I get excited about. I know the fixtures are there for them, but they're 17th and they've just been poor.
Agreed.
I just think you could do better. There's going to be teams with less good fixtures who you might want to back.
Yeah, probably right. But
just to confirm as well, someone was asking about the blank fixtures, just to confirm exactly what the blank fixtures are. So basically,
Charlton Newcastle's one.
Yeah. Everton Derby.
Yeah.
And Arsenal West Ham. So those are the teams that blank. And yeah, we've done the Arsenal. Who have West Ham got in the 20? Oh, no one cares about it. No one's going on West Ham, are they? Even for a double game week, surely. Especially when one of the games is Arsenal away.
West Ham, I don't even think they have got a double.
If you keep going forwards a bit more to this one.
Oh yeah, Arsenal's comes later, doesn't it? It's so confusing.
So Arsenal. So West Ham have got Arsenal away.
Leicester at home. That's not bad, but you wouldn't back them for anything away to Arsenal, would you?
I wouldn't fancy it home to Leicester either, to be honest.
I mean, it's basically you're only going to be getting Joe Cole here. There's no one else you'd even consider, right? I don't think so.
Yeah,
anyway.
Maybe Di Canio, maybe.
Striker slot.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at this week, you probably have most people have Henry to cover the double. This is the game where Van Nistelrooy could be back home to Spurs.
Yeah, he should be back there.
And then who had Leeds got? Everton. It's a reasonable game. Shearer's home to Blackburn. You ain't going to go to Canute.
No, agree.
Well, I think that's it, Dave.
Yeah, I'll just see if there's any last questions in the chat. Is there a cut-off for yellow card bans? There is a cut-off for yellow card bans. If you look at the FAQ on the website, there's a link to the FAQ in the resources section of the website. It does tell you. I can't remember off the top of my head what that is. Clean sheet workout saying he's going to dead end to the end of 26 with a couple of hits and then wild card in 27. That sounds good. I think if you've got your free hit as well, there's obviously choices to be made. You could free hit in either any of these upcoming game weeks, really.
I think probably the play there is because you'll have a lot of the players who play in the double anyway. Is probably to free hit in the blank where you don't want to get rid of them and then bring them back.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
For me, free hitting the likes of Shearer out and all these people to then have them back for the doubles seems the play.
Yeah. Just to answer a couple of things in the chat, Andy Martin saying, can you see job security, job information? Anyone there? No, it's just a Southampton job. Scanner's asking for South Africa squad, but that hasn't been called up yet. So, or at least maybe, do you want to have a little look and see whether... I don't know whether this will be live and relevant or not. It's the disclaimer on this. You can see there's Bartlett's there. That's the main one, isn't it?
The next match is in 10 days.
Bish, Bartlett, Issa from Sunderland. Quality time. Oh, Quinton Fortune. It's great timing of the signing. They get Issa in, he plays one game, and then off he goes. Yeah, Zuba's good. And then Adam English stuff about Tariko. Tariko's on 71%. He's got a few days to go.
Yeah,
but I think that's it, isn't it?
I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else. I'll just show the home away table quickly. I'm about 500 degrees in this room, so
I know I'm absolutely bored. I don't know if you can see this room. Oh, you can't see me, can you? But the sun comes into. Oh, can you? Yeah. I can't see you. The sun comes into this room in the afternoon, and now I'm just absolutely baking.
I can hear the seagulls, mate.
Yeah, but it's like I'm on the beach, sort of.
I wish I was on the beach because this office is ridiculous.
I'm actually going to go to the beach in about 15 minutes, I think, and go and have a swim because it's that hot.
What a guy.
Yeah, come and join us. Yeah, just while you're doing that, I'm just going to say very quickly, thanks to everyone for still being engaged in terms of, obviously there's been a slight drop off, but actually there's still like so many hundreds of transfers happening, loads of engagements, loads of people have watched the stream today. So thanks everyone for sticking with it, stay involved. It's been a lot of fun and it continues to be. So looking forward to simming. We're going to sim the next game week very shortly, and we'll see whether it's heartbreak or joy for you guys.
Indeed. All right, I'll catch you guys later. And thanks for joining. I echo Dave's thoughts, and I'm certainly more invested in this than Premier League at the moment. It's got a little bit better recently, Premier League, a little bit, but it's mostly been dreadful, hasn't it? I mean,
Liverpool. I feel like Liverpool basically redeemed it, didn't they, with a somewhat entertaining display, but it has been bad. But hopefully it gets better. But am I right in thinking that you're? I can't do Sunday. I think you and Andy are streaming on Sunday night.
I'll certainly be doing it. Yeah, and then if Andy comes on as well, then great.
Pretty sure he's about. So yeah, nice. All right, should we sign off there?
Let's do it. Bye everyone. Let's do these awkward waves for 10 minutes while I work out how to end the stream. Bye.